In this video, I'll be showing you how to review search terms inside each ad group for cost per conversions that are less than the average for that ad group. We will be using a qualifying factor of 2 conversions to determine if it's worth adding to the ad group as a phrase match keyword. So the reason we add it as a phrase match and not a broad match is because we want to target this specific phrase, and broad match is going to target too broad of search terms for it to accurately match the results that search term has been shown to get us. So we're going to be reviewing search terms every week. We're going to be reviewing them by ad group, and we're going to be setting the time frame to 6 weeks. So to get started, we're going to go to Google Ads, then you're going to go to search terms inside Google Ads. Then from here, we're going to set a time frame for 6 weeks or about a month and a half. Click apply and make sure that you're inside a specific ad group. So as we can see here, there are 2 search terms that have gotten 2+ conversions in the past 6 weeks. And what we're going to be looking for is conversion rates that are 100% or less. So if you see a conversion rate of 200% or anything above 100%, you need to go watch our video on how to view conversion rates and adjust your search terms based on those conversion rates, or adjust your conversion actions based on those conversion rates, because we should not be seeing a conversion rate of 200%. So be sure to go watch that video if this is showing up for you. But essentially that discounts our 2 conversions right here. So we will be ignoring the search term. You should only be using search terms that have a conversion rate of 100% or less. Anything above that is not good, and you need to go watch our other video on how to fix that. So now that we've seen that we have a keyword or a search term that we would like to turn into a phrase match keyword, we're going to look at the match type that caused this search term to be triggered. If we see anything other than broad match, this means that we already have that type of keyword inside our ad group, and so there's no need to add it as a search term. So let's say, for example, we wanted to add car suspension inspection. See how the match type is broad match? That means we don't have a keyword inside our current ad group that lines up very well with this. So if we see right here, auto repair shop is the one that triggered car suspension inspection. You can see how that is a broad match of this search term. So if this had 2+ conversions, we would want to add car suspension inspection as a keyword to our ad group. Another thing to keep in mind is the number of impressions and clicks that each search term is getting. So if you have the case where there are a lot of search terms with 2+ conversions, you're obviously not going to want to add every single one as a keyword. You want to only add a few at a time. I recommend 3 to 5 at max per time you do this, because you want to give them time to adjust to the ad group, and you need to be able to see which ones are performing well, and you don't want your budget getting spread too thin. So if you have the case where you've got 10+ search terms with 2+ conversions, you want to go and pick the ones with the highest click-through rate with the highest number of impressions and clicks. So if you're comparing 2, you'd want to take the one with the highest click-through rate, as long as that click-through rate is under 100%. If it's 200%, that's not great. That means that people are clicking on your ad more than once and you're getting charged double. So keep that in mind when you're trying to determine whether to add a search term as a phrase match keyword. We're going to check out 2 other accounts to see how this works in different industries. So here in this campaign, we have a bunch of conversions that have, or a bunch of search terms that have 2+ conversions. So obviously we're going to go to other factors to see if we're going to add them as keywords. So search terms over here, we're going to check the match type. So we can see right here up, there's only one that has a match type that is broad match. As you can see, phrase match is going to line up pretty closely with other keywords that you already have in that ad group. So we're only worried about broad match types for the search term. So in this case, landscaping work in my area is actually not necessarily something we want to show for, because this type of phrase is typically delegated to, or it's typically searched by people who are looking for jobs or who are looking to grow their own landscaping business. It's not people looking to actually purchase landscaping services. So this would be a case where even though it's got the conversions that we're looking for, we actually do not want to add it, even though it lines up with the match type, because the specific search term doesn't line up with what we are trying to promote in this ad group. So actually what we would do here is we would actually add this as a negative keyword, because we don't want to show up for this, because it's clear that we're spending money promoting our services to people who aren't interested. Even though there are conversions, sometimes people can be dumb. That is just a rule of life, and it's definitely a rule when it comes to Google. And so if you see search terms, even if people are converting, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that you want to show up for. So you need to be very clear about what you are promoting inside your ad group, and be very aware when somebody is searching for your services or somebody is searching to get help promoting competitive services. So this could be a business that is looking for help advertising their own business, because look, they're trying landscaping work in my area. They're not looking for landscaping companies near me. They're not looking for a service. They're looking to get more work for their business. So you don't want to be showing up, and there's a chance that when they look this up and they see a rival landscaping business, they're actually clicking on it to waste your ad spend. So keep that in mind. We're going to add this as a negative keyword by clicking save, and it will add it as a negative keyword. That way we don't show up for that search term anymore. Now we're going to go on to one more account, so that way you can see what it looks like when we're actually adding a search term as a phrase match keyword. So we can see here that we have around 10 different search terms that have 2+ conversions, and inside these search terms we have one that is a broad match. So what we can see here is that this is a Spanish version of dentist. So basically somebody who speaks Spanish is searching this on Google. And so if we are looking to show up to the Spanish speaking community, this is definitely something that we could then add as a keyword. And we could come up here, and to add it as a phrase match keyword, we would simply type in a quotation mark onto each end of the keyword, and then click save. If you have a specific landing page for this keyword that you think would be very beneficial for people to go to, so let's say for the Spanish speaking community, if you have a Spanish landing page, that would be a great URL to put in here. And we're actually going to do one more account just so you can get a full picture of what it looks like to go through these search terms and find high performing search terms to add to your keyword list. Before we move on to one more account, I do want to mention that if your campaign doesn't have a lot of search terms that are getting this 2+ conversion mark, you can go back and add a bigger date range in order to get more data, especially if you haven't made any changes recently and you are looking to add some more search terms to your arsenal in terms of adding to your ad group. So it is totally fine to expand this if you need to get more conversion data in order to get some more search terms to add to your ad group. Additionally, if you are seeing everything as phrase match and you don't really have any broad match types showing up that you can add as a search term or as a keyword to your ad groups, you're more than welcome to look through the match types that have phrase match to see if there are possibly some search terms that don't line up very close with your keywords that you would like to add to your ad group. Because as you can see here, invisible braces, dentist nearby does include dentist in it, but this phrase as a whole may have some value in adding because Google will be able to specifically show your ad to this specific search term, whereas it may get skipped over sometimes if you have this broad match keyword that's trying to show up to all of these other search terms. So if you see a search term that you would really like to show up for more, I highly recommend copying and pasting it into your ad group, or just checking the box and adding it as a keyword. If you see a keyword that may not be broad match but is phrase match or even exact match that you would like to show up for more, highly recommend adding it as a keyword. So what we can see here in this last ad group is that we have a couple of search terms with 2+ conversions, and this Chattanooga Skydive has a broad match type. It's got a decent number of clicks, decent number of impressions, 2+ conversions. So this is definitely something that, even though we have keywords that are similar to it that have skydiving and Chattanooga in them, it's clearly getting enough results that we would like to start targeting this specific keyword. We could also say a similar thing about their actual business name, Chattanooga Skydiving Company Reviews, because that's clearly people who are looking to buy. They're just trying to make sure they're getting the right company. So we could also be adding this as a phrase match keyword as well. Even though it's not a broad match, it is something we still want to show up for. So in order to add them as keywords, click add as keywords, go here, quotation mark on the front side and back side. And this just is how the syntax works for phrase match keywords. We'll click save, and the keywords will be saved to the account. Make sure to make a note of this when you add new keywords, so that way when you go back in to do other keyword adjustments and you see that they haven't gotten any results recently, you know that you need to let them run for at least 2 to 4 weeks to allow them to collect data to determine if they are going to work or if they need more adjustments or if they just need to be paused as a whole. So hope this helps. If you need any help with your Google Ads accounts, more specifically search terms or keywords, feel free to reach out to Creekside Marketing. We'd be more than happy to help. Hope to see you in the next video.